So I don't usually start the reading out this way, but I'm going to today. So I was shuffling, preparing for this reading, and I was like, any messages that want to come out right now, feel free. And the new moon jumped out. So I have been meditating quite a bit on the new moon in Gemini. I did a whole reading about Jupiter moving into Gemini. We've got Venus in Gemini, the sun's in Gemini. We've got a lot going on in Gemini. And the themes around Gemini are about communication. So a lot of what you're going to be working with right now is improving your clarity so that what you say is the same as how you feel and everything's aligned. Okay, so there can be communication that's sort of, I'm getting this like circuitous route, this looking around the corner, this what if it doesn't turn out this way. It's like so many fears have created all of these sort of rocks in the road. You need to be the water, right? You need to just be moving through them, recognizing them. Thank you very much for the clarity. Thank you very much for the warning, whatever it is, but I'm just going to move easy. I'm just going to move easy. So whoever that message is for, I was writing this morning about Jupiter in Gemini highlighting dualities and illusions. So we're going to have a lot of that opportunity in the next few weeks and months. Jupiter stays in Gemini for an entire year. But in Gemini season, especially, we are dealing with duality because Gemini, the Lover's card, is duality, and revelations of major truths, sudden clarity, soul mission downloads. This is all what I was doing in my morning meditation for myself this morning. Activations of new cycles of abundance. Woo! Okay, so now let's get to the reading. It doesn't usually happen like that, but there is this feeling of openness that I'm experiencing right now. So I'm just going to go with it. And of course, the Death card comes out next. Big change, gratitude, psyched about this. Messages coming in. Some of you are definitely opening up to your psychic sense, clairaudient. Some of you are learning about changes and transformations in other people before they're seeing them in their lifetime, in their, sort of regular walking around 3D life. And there's just this opening, this heart opening. I felt this the other night. There's such a heart opening. I mean, I just feel like a rush of messages coming through before I could even turn on the camera. So let's see what wants to come through the reading. Just hold on to that. I feel like there's an expansion of our communication on a lot of different levels. So let's see what the reading has to say. And that message card coming through, obviously. The new moon in Gemini is happening on June 6th. Okay, what degree is it? Hold on, Mary Jo. What degree is it? 16 degrees Gemini. And so if you have anything sitting at 16 degrees Gemini or 16 degrees Sagittarius, I have my sun at 17 degrees Sagittarius, sort of opposite from it. Those things will be activated by this new moon. Lots of Gemini and Sagittarius energy right now. So 3 of Wands, 7 of Swords, which is lying. It's the opposite. Some of you have been waiting for a person who might be lying to themselves or lying to you in some way. But I do feel like that gets fixed. The Hermit coming out and the Justice card, the nine of Swords, even though you don't see it, it's happening. Even though you don't see it, it's happening. This person or you, subconsciously, you could be lying to yourself about something, about not ever having love again, or whatever it is, it's negative. And whatever you're worried about, whatever you're concerned about, I'm just going to open it wide open here because we are in that kind of expansive energy. And it's like, wisdom comes from balancing yourself out and like getting to neutrality about it. So if you're really in some kind of anxiety about some situation in your life, especially around love, but it could be about anything. It's about any kind of abundance that you are. If you're still in the energy of lack, that is the oppositional, the duality of abundance. So you're in the right neighborhood. You're just all the way across town. It's like 2 neighborhoods that are built in across the city that are exactly alike. Okay. And, I grew up in the 60s and 70s. And so there's definitely, lots of development happening, lots. And so our neighborhood, there was like the same house as mine was built across the neighborhood in the opposite place. And I'm suggesting that whoever is dealing with this lack mentality right now, you're actually in a neighborhood like across the city or across the globe, across the world, across the country, across the state. You're like in the opposite place, but it looks like it. It looks like where you're supposed to be, but there's something out of alignment in you that feels like lack. So you might be in a relationship and you're like, okay, well, I'm manifesting a relationship, but it's actually the energy of the opposite, of the oppositional, the duality. And so you're being asked to balance things out. We got Libra here too. Virgo is also ruled by Mercury. We have Gemini ruled by Mercury right now. Virgo is also ruled by Mercury. So this Seven of Swords, this lie we're telling ourselves about a lack of abundance, we're just a few clicks off. I feel like I've said this to you a bunch of times because, and maybe you haven't seen my readings before. If you're brand new, hello. But I recall that when I made my biggest heart chakra opening, when I had my big heart chakra opening, it shifted me into the awareness of I was just a few clicks off of my alignment. So things were kind of the same, kind of, sort of, but there wasn't that real soul resonance to where I was. The relationship I was having at the time, there wasn't a real soul resonance to that. Or if it was in the oppositional kind of energy of lack. Like I knew somehow that this was lacking, that this wasn't. And so if I'm aligning with the 10 of Cups, there's a frequency to that. There's a vibe to that. It's a vibe. Okay. And just like Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so is the Lovers. But the vibe of these two cards is very different, right? Virgo is about healing. Virgo is about routines and about diligence and about creating wisdom from repetition, like meditating every day and transformational energy that way. Lovers is about transformational energy that comes from our interaction with people. So there's something here that's just a couple clicks off. All right, let's see where we, oh, okay. Tower. Seriously. Tower, King of Wands. Okay, my 80s girl is coming out right now. I don't know why. Seriously. King of Wands, Queen of Wands. I mean, suddenly that's alignment. King and Queen of Wands, the fire, the passion, and your internal. This can be an internal alignment too with your masculine feminine. So it doesn't have to be an external person, but this internal alignment must happen before the external person shows up who is in alignment with our duality. No, with our integration, with our union, with our internal union. That has to happen for any external, because what you're witnessing now in your external reality is really the past. Okay, this is what you've manifested in the past. So when you're manifesting or when you're working through alignment issues with yourself, or however you want to put it, there is a lag time because the 3D is so dense. And if we keep, changing our minds, whatever, we keep pushing back the manifestation. But this has to do with just feeling it. Don't try to get validation from the 3D right now. That is not going to help you. What's going to help you is feeling aligned with your inner hermit, feeling the wisdom, and moving out of a state of lack or a state of a lie that you're telling yourself that is keeping you from the manifestation, that's keeping you from the next step or keeping you, whatever. It's like, your ego fights the soul's path. Your ego fights it. It's like, no, everybody's telling me that I got to really put more effort in and I got to be, really pounding it out. And I've got to be so Saturn about everything. All due respect, Saturn, like you have your place. But there is a sense of the soul's path it doesn't look to the 3D Earth 2024 eye as if it's not like work. It's definitely a work smarter, not harder kind of experience. It's definitely that. It's not something that can be gleaned from just pounding it out. It has to be a trusting of the in. And that's what's getting blown up, is this idea that, oh, all right, you know what? I've got to align with my internal mechanism. I've got to align with my soul's clarity about this. And my ego is fighting it tooth and nail because I don't see it. If I don't see it, it must not be true, right? Like there's that. 10 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, the 7 of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the 4 of Wands. There may be a sense of a shift, like inside. Okay, there's something about this here. Like, okay, we have that tower that's getting blown up, or that tower that is like what we've always revered. I keep getting this image in my head of like an ivory tower, or of something that is unassailable, something that we've always believed to be true that isn't true about ourselves, about other people. We've always aligned with a story that isn't true about us, which is, by the way, why you don't have what you're looking to manifest, because that story that you're telling yourself is a lie. You're telling yourself you're not worthy, you're not capable, you're not good enough, you're not enough, right? You're telling yourself all that. I feel like that's what's getting blown up here. Oh, yeah. And King of Wands and Queen of Wands, there's an alignment internally, masculine and feminine. There's some kind of park wall, or some kind of wall that you're needing to get over in order to escape to freedom of some kind. Like there's some mechanism that's holding you in place that you think is safe, but it's a prison. Some of you have created your own prison by trying to stay safe. And what's really being asked of you is to align with that soul's mission. So there are some times when you may not feel safe when you're on your soul's path, because your 3D and your ego mind, the thing that looks into life out in your present circumstances and says, well, this isn't what I want. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I better run back to that prison. This is why people choose the same pattern over and over again with different people. This is why if you have you've chosen someone who could never break your heart, becomes a prison, right? If you're really aligning with love, but you're like, okay, but this is safe. Now, this is where we're starting to learn something new, the Page of Pentacles. And this has to do with, I'm going to stand up and fight for myself. I'm going to do the work of what I want, which is getting back to the beginning. As my mother used to say, getting back to brass tacks, getting down to, ripping apart the house down to the studs in order to build something new. So the framework, the structure, the framework of you. But in the meantime, what you've done is in the past, you have created some kind of either monstrosity or some kind of house or some kind of dwelling that is completely holding you in some kind of prison. Like you built a house with no doors. You built a house with no windows. Yeesh. You've built a house that has no bedroom or no kitchen. Whatever part of your life that's lacking, that house, this metaphor I'm going to keep going with, that house has none of it. It has, however, an overabundance of whatever you are seeing in front of you. Okay, so it's time to tear it down to the studs and build something new. This Ace of Cups and the 4 of Wands. And it's time to learn something new. Sometimes, especially, the 10 of Pentacles makes me feel like some of you have had some success, some limited success, or some actually good success. And now it's time to utilize those resources in a different way, or it's time to become a beginner again. And that can be difficult if we've had some success in our lives. And some people, may look at what they've created, and I want you to not tear yourself down and say, oh, I've made a total mess of things. I've got to rip away every single thing I've built. because it's not the place I'm going. I want you to transmute everything in that house, even if it has no kitchen or no bedroom or whatever. I want you to transmute it all to wisdom. There was a purpose. There was a purpose for that design that you had. There was a purpose to it. And like, give yourself some credit for building something. All right. Build yourself some credit for learning the lessons or being being open to being open to the lessons of this duality, this or that. Some of you have a lot of anxiety right now around what's going on, maybe afraid you're never going to get to the 10 of Cups. But this is what's coming in, this Ace of Cups. The Page of Pentacles is about having a beginner's mind and wanting to learn something new. Queen of Cups. Knight of Pentacles. There's more Virgo energy. Hierophant. And the 8 of Swords. I feel like some of you don't see the direct path, which has been kind of the problem. Like, I need to see where the path is going. I can't just ask for the next step. But that's what Spirit is saying to you right now. Ask for the next step. Just ask for the next step. And when I was going through my big transformation, I was given a few opportunities in 2001, 2008, 2012, and I didn't take those opportunities. I kept creating the same thing over and over again. And finally, by the time I got to 2016 into 2017, I just surrendered finally. Surrendered my ego that I knew better. Surrendered that I was truly open to whatever my soul path was. I feel like some of you are also aligned with another person right now who is mirroring you like you read about, okay? Their life is different circumstances. If someone looked at the two lives, they'd be like, okay, yeah, like they're married and you're not. You're successful and they're not. You know, might not see the commonalities. But this kind of relationship, I feel like this is soulmate, very strong soulmate, life partner, twin flame, whatever it is. This partnership is very strong and it's connected via the heart chakra. So really aligning with that soul mission and purpose is going to bring you in the direction of your greatest dream, greatest desire, whether that's relationship or financial success or both or all of it. It's like all of these things are possible. All is possible on the soul's path. So I will pull cards for each zodiac sign to give you some guidance for each of you. All right. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So let's see where we're going with this. What is the message that is trying to come through? Right now, Spirit is saying, surrender to the soul's path. And all is possible. All right. If you want to continue on, if this is your reading, let's go deeper. Link is below. I'll see you over there. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.